it's Dr. Roxy at Caring Physical Therapy and Wellness, back with another installment of ankle rehab. We're going to talk about balance today, but before we do that, I just want to make sure that I explain that I have been keeping up with my other strengthening exercises of my abdominals, my glutes, my thighs, quads and hamstrings, etc., while I've been doing my ankle rehab, so that I have strength when I get up to start doing, standing exercises and things like that. So that's a whole nother regimen that I've been doing that I'm not going to share with you, but if you have questions, just let me know. So today we're going to get to balance, and when we talk about balance, we have to actually talk about the arches of the foot and the muscles, the 4 layers of muscles within the foot that help you maintain your arch as well as maintain your balance. Let me get set up, and then we'll get going. Okay, so when we're talking about balance on your foot, when you're standing upright, we have to be able to maintain our arch when we do that, because if it goes too flat, if this bone sinks too close to the floor, we're going to wind up with all kinds of different tendonitis problems, etc. So we need to keep our arch with the support it normally has. Now, if you have an injury, you may have lost some of your arch support. And so, the goal is to try and get that back. The thing that supports our arch or creates our arch is our plantar fascia, and there's a couple of different arches. The muscles in the foot, there's 4 layers of muscles in the foot, and that helps to pull on the plantar fascia as well as move the toes and the bones, etc. But it helps to pull on the plantar fascia to keep the arch actually in its proper position. So you need to make sure that you're using those muscles while you're doing your balancing. And then there's different types of arches, right? There's flat, there's medium, and then there's high arches, and then there's rigid arches, and then there's flexible arches, etc. All that is taken into consideration when you have these sorts of problems, and when you're looking at orthotics, which is what I talked about a couple sessions ago. I am, by the way, no longer in my orthotics, yay, which means I got the strength back in my foot so that it can support my arch properly. So when we're starting balance, obviously you want to be able to stand on your foot without pain. So I'm there, and what I'm going to do is just kind of shift all of my weight onto that foot and stand. Now what you'll notice is, sometimes you see my feet gripping, etc. Let me see if I can move so I'm not so close to the mirror there. Okay. So, and I just stand here. Now, I'm trying to keep my hip muscles tight, my glutes tight, and I'm trying to make sure that my arch doesn't go flat like that, right? We don't want that. I want to maintain what my arch is. And that happens by pulling up through this line all the way up towards your belly button, right? You're holding that tight. And so this is where you're going to start, and this is where I started, is balancing on one foot. When you're starting to practice balance, you want to find what we call a drishti, or a focus point, so that you're not looking at something that's moving or whatever, because that never helps your balance. So if you can find one focus point to watch, that will help you improve your balance as well. Now, when that gets easy, you can then come to a more movable surface. In therapy, we have these foam pads that we use. And that just requires just a little bit more, it's a little more movable. So you see a lot more stuff happening at my ankle, my muscles adjusting to find my balance. And, at home, you can use a pillow. Make sure you've got something next to you, a counter or a wall or something, so in case you end up losing your balance, you can catch it before you fall. As that gets easier and easier, we can move to more exciting balance challenges. I'll take some preparation here. So I'm tightening my core, I'm tightening my glutes. I'm keeping my knee bent so that I can use all of my muscles. There's not a huge bend in it, but there's a little bit. It's not locked out. So I want to be able to use all of my muscles that I have to get my balance. The next phase that I'm going to get to is being able to balance on just my tiptoes or the ball of my foot. I'm not quite there yet. But I want to be able to do that so that I know all of these muscles are strong enough to handle the rough and rugged terrain that I tend to hike on. So that's balance. Next time, we're going to talk about some yoga for strengthening of the lower extremities and stretching out the lower extremities, all because that really is helpful for integrating the ankle strength and flexibility and mobility. So we'll go over some yoga for ankle rehab, and I'll see you next time. Until then, be well.